Okay guys, Bradley Knight here. I am doing this video or audio. I'm not too sure how you're going to receive this. I try and I think video is probably slightly better for people because they get a personality to what I'm trying to present. But it may end up being in audio. And this is just me. I would prefer to be honest, not to be doing it in this fashion, but for the sake of providing information to people who need assistance, I'm more than happy to try and help people in this sort of fashion. The only problem is I may not answer all the questions, but at least it will give some information to assist you in specific to this matter, which I'm going to discuss. Is an EX160, which is a application for free remission. I've got a copy of the form, so if you're looking down at it, so I can try and talk you through the process. Now, a lot of the forms in courtroom procedure are simple, however, they're complex. So your interpretation of one form may not be the correct interpretation for the court, and I can definitely sympathise with that. It's extremely difficult to understand what is the correct form. I have many examples. Only a few months back, I didn't know what form to fill in on a case. It's actually a family case, as it happens, and even the they would say they're not giving advice, but the advice I got given was I needed this form, and then only to get sent back that form saying that's the incorrect form. So I really do sympathise with it because I come across the same problem as well. And bearing in mind, I've done a lot of form filling over the time. Now, so we're talking about EX160, which is a application for fee remission. Basically, fee remission is essentially access to the courts to go through your legal claims or applications for people who cannot afford to pay a court fee. So the people that can afford to pay a court fee basically subsidise, or the state, or whatever you want to call it, your applications or claims in the court. It's a fairly simple form, but I'm just going to try and talk through it. So essentially, all it is means you don't have to pay your court costs. It doesn't mean that, let's say it's for a claim and you lose your claim, costs will not be awarded to the other side. There's a separate argument I'd always use for that, especially in small claims court, because they have to prove unreasonable behaviour. As long as you've complied with pre-action protocols and stuff like that, I think it would be very difficult to accuse you of unreasonable behaviour. Anyway, that's a separate subject. Okay. About the case, this is section. I'm going to talk through the form specifically. Section 1 is EX160, downloadable from the web. Just one thing to bear in mind: you're looking for the version 0714. There's other versions online. It's completely free of charge. Make sure you do not make the mistake of going onto other websites where they say to download this form it's £9.99 or anything like that. It's completely free of charge, so make sure you look at the right section. So it's an EX160 application for free remission, and make sure you download the July 2014 version, not a prior version. There's many versions out there. I think there's about 4 from memory that I've used over the years, but it's definitely the 0714 version. Okay, case, claim, notice or pay number. Now, if you're making fee remission for, say for example, you've lodged a claim, in there you would have a claim number already. Now, if you're lodging a new claim for fee remission, you obviously wouldn't have that, so you leave that blank. But if you've got an existing claim, you would then put in that number there, of that claim number which you've already got. What's the title and number of the form for which the fee remission relates? There are many forms. I'm just going to keep it simple. Let's just say you've got a claim already. Obviously, if it's a claim, it's an N1. If you've got an application in relation to that claim, it's an N244, and you just insert that number in there. Claimant, petitioner, applicant, generally all the same persons really. It's pretty obvious that's you who is making a claim or application, or as it says, a petitioner. It's exactly as it says. Defendants, that's the other party. Pretty straightforward. On the right hand side, it talks about probate cases. That's not my expertise, although I've dealt in a couple of cases and assisted on. But essentially, all that says is name of the deceased, which is obviously the name and date of birth of the deceased. Date of death, sorry, I apologise. Date of death. Below that, it says give the address of the property to which the dispute relates. Now, if it's a property dispute, so for example eviction or alike or whatever, then you insert that. But that's not your address, so leave that bit blank if it's an application for free remission for other matters. Okay, section 2, your details. I'm not going to go into this because if you can't complete this, you're going to go nowhere. But quite simply is your details: your name, address, date of birth, telephone number. You don't have to fill in your date of birth, by the way, so you could always leave that blank if necessary. But it says what's your status: single persons, part of a couple, but applying for proceedings with contrary interests. That's where that's probably marital, that sort of stuff. Do you have any children, dependents? Again, it's pretty straightforward stuff. I recommend not to mislead them in any way, because these do get checked out from time to time, but on the day generally not so much. Does your application, section 3, this is for court of protection cases only. It relates to property or financial affairs, health and welfare, both, which we can quite possibly. Remission based on person's circumstances, which would be the applicants. Generally, in my experience, would be that sort of case, and you may tick another box in this section. Remission based on the applicant's circumstances, and are you the partner of the person? Quite simply, yes or no. It's really easy. Fee to be paid, section 4. What you need to make sure is that you are aware of what fee ought to have been paid for the nature and value of your application. Obviously call the courts beforehand, or you can easily get it on the web, just Google it, and insert there the fee to be paid. If it's a claim, it's 5% now, so they've made it fairly simple, although I think it's extortionate, but then that's by the by. But if it's like application, it would be £50. But actually some applications carry a higher fee. That was just gone off. Disposable capital threshold for this fee. That's basically they're referring to you. So if you've got savings or like in your on your person, you could insert that in there. Most of the cases that I deal with on free remission, most people don't have any disposable capital, and so you simply insert 0. But if you want to insert a figure there, do it accordingly. Is your partner 61 or over? It goes on to say, and you can answer that question as you see fit. Is your disposable capital below the threshold entered in the box above? Obviously, if it's 0, it's basically yes, essentially. Section 5, fee remission based on benefits and the like. Do you receive any of these benefits? This is a simple way of getting yourself approved for fee remission, and you obviously clearly must know what benefits you are on because you've applied for them. Income-based job seekers allowance, universal credit, income-related and support allowance, state pension, income support, legal aid. If you're doing fee remission, legal aid would not be applicable. So leave that box. Definitely do not tick that box. And then it's got, like I say, it's got none of the above, because some of the elements may not be listed in those boxes there. So that's fairly straightforward. Number 6, Remission 2. What this is asked for is basically your income. Quite simply, be open and honest and declare it. If you've got child benefit or pensions, or if you've ticked the other benefit box, then just basically say it as it is. You also then so basically then you put it in the total column, whatever it is, and what will happen is I'll go on to that next actually. Refund. So effectively you can do this retrospectively, this application form. So if you've paid a court cost which you ought not to have paid for, like for example you've made a claim, win or lose, and you had circumstances at the time of which you ought not to have paid them, Section 7 is for you to enable you to get that money back. So it's either yes or no. I apologise, my dog's come into the room. The Jackson, get down. Sit. The so basically that's Section 7, which effectively means that you're applying for a refund of court fees that you ought not to have paid. And there's no period on that. So if you did it 2 years ago, you can still apply for a refund. The only problem is they're going to be, I can tell you, they're going to be reluctant to give a refund anyway, under any circumstances, if I'm perfectly honest. But that enables you to pursue those channels, based on my opinion with these sort of documents. Section 8, Declaration of Truth, is obviously you're telling the truth, and you need to attach, you tick a box there that says I've attached the evidence needed in support of my application, sign, date, full name. The evidence is quite simply, in some circumstances, just your benefits, but what the courts do like is 3 months bank statements. In my experience, they glance at them. As long as you're not showing you've got substantial income running through your bank account, and what you've said in Section 6 doesn't appear to be the case, it's just a tick box exercise, so you can enable to complete your fee remission. That basically gets you through the court process. If you cannot afford to get into court for whatever reason, now that doesn't mean if you earn 10 grand a month and suddenly you spent 9 grand at the casino, you're going to get free remission. I assure you, you're not. This is purely designed for people who cannot afford to get access to the court, and therefore access to justice. So you cannot take the piss. It is, like I say, it's designed for people on low income, low disposable income, and people on benefits, which probably fall on the same remit. So don't expect this to be an opportunity for you to mislead the court, because obviously that will be an issue for you down the line if it is exposed. It's purely, this video and this audio is purely just to explain and help people who need access to the courts to make applications and claims where they can get fee remission, because courts are accessible. This is designed purely for that process. I hope this video helps. Audio helps, because the camera actually stopped halfway through there. And like I say, good luck. Just make sure you complete the paperwork correctly, and you'll get your free remission and you'll get your access to court, which is what it's all about. I'm pleased this audio is going to be less than 15 minutes, because that way you're not going to fall asleep. So basically this is about application for free remission. It's EX160. Download the form and and good luck, and just attach it to your claim or your application, whatever it is you're applying for. There are many forms out there of different stuff, and you can do it for all of them. Good luck, guys.